Hey, everybody! Welcome back. It's your bearded brothers on Sunday night after the afternoon games have finished. We're back. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
He's apparently being taken away by space aliens right now.
Ah!
And we have just finished the afternoon games. In fact, I just finished watching the Bears-Packers game. We have thoughts.
I have lots of thoughts.
We have lots of thoughts about Week 1. And we're going to talk
I'm just watching the red zone go through every touchdown now.
Oh, yeah, the wrap-up.
That's always fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a blast. I'm actually considering, at some point in time here this season, buying the ticket on YouTube.
Oh, yep.
So I can actually watch all the games instead of being able to just listen to the Vikings game. I can actually watch the doggone thing.
That's what I got Sling for, man. I love it.
Yeah, I want to get it just for that so I can watch all the games that I want to watch.
Right?
I will definitely be able to watch Thursday's game, though, because the NFL Network app carries the Thursday and the Monday games and the Sunday night game.
I thought, wasn't Thursday supposed to be on Amazon or something?
Yes, but it's still carried on the app for the NFL Network.
Okay.
If you get the NFL Network Plus, they will still carry it and allow you to watch it.
Okay.
But you can also watch the Amazon Prime stream, and when they do the Manning cast, you can watch it on that one, too. Which, by the way, is pretty interesting if you ever get a chance to watch those. Love those. News. I can't think of a whole lot of news right now. I mean, there's injury news from football games, but overall news?
Not a lot of news.
I mean, I guess the biggest news, let's cover it first, because I think there is a little bit, and the biggest one is, of course, Joey fucking Bosa got paid.
Joey Bosa got paid.
Joey Bosa.
Joe Burrow got paid, but I don't remember if that came up last week. Was that last week?
It did not, because it came up during the Thursday night game.
Yep.
So
Burrow
Joey Bosa and Joe Burrow have both gotten fucking paid. Like, big time fucking paid, y'all. Burrow's new contract is like $275 million.
Yeah. Doesn't it make him like the most paid player currently in the league?
I think so. One of them. He's one of the highest paid players in football now. Which I understand. Based
normally
on
it makes sense, but this game,
we'll get to that.
Thoughts.
We'll get to that.
Oh, I got thoughts.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Outside of that, Joey Bosa also got, or not Joey, Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa,
Joey's on the
Barbarian Bosa got paid.
Yeah, Joey's on Chargers.
Joey's on the Chargers, but Nick got his paycheck, resetting the market for defensive ends and edge rushers.
Not surprising.
There's a lot of things that we need to talk about. Oh, I just figured out who I'm going to throw into the showers other than who I had. There's a guy in there that I just figured out. I was just like, oh, yeah, that motherfucker.
Yeah, there's a couple.
We'll get to that. We actually do have, again, welcome back. We don't have any hot potato takes yet, but that's because there's not enough that's happened. I don't know that we're going to do hot potatoes until, like, week 5-ish.
Yeah, week 3 at the soonest, probably.
Yeah, between week 3 and 5, and it'll be the same for our top 10 listings, because there's just not enough
There's not
data.
enough to go
There's
on.
not enough data. We haven't seen enough games yet. And to try to do them this early is just, it's stupid. Because it's just going to be a rehash of the post-preseason
The
top
same thing
10
that we had,
with a little bit of shuffling because of who won and who lost.
Exactly.
So I don't legitimately think you could have your Chiefs at number 1 anymore.
No, I couldn't. So I don't think you could have the Eagles really that great at number 1 either, because they
I would definitely
out.
have to drop them down after this week, because they had trouble putting those guys away, and
really
Hurts did not look like Hurts. So
Ooh.
we got to go through a lot of this.
But still.
We got to go through a lot of this. All right, so let's go through the Thursday night game first. We're just going to pick it up right there. I don't know how long this cast is going to be. Probably an hour. Maybe
Probably.
an hour and a half. All right, guys.
Hour and a half.
All right, guys. So, Thursday night game, we had Lions and the Chiefs, and both Chris and I took the Chiefs to win, and both of us were fucking wrong. But you know what?
Not gonna duck the Lions anymore, I tell you what.
You know what? That was a good game.
It was still a good game,
We had just hoped that the Lions would be able to keep it close. The Lions did
certainly
a
did
fuck
that.
of a lot more than keep it close. The
I mean, it was still close at the end, but they won.
But they won. So I think the most surprising part of that game to me was just how mortal Patrick Mahomes looked. Now,
Excuse you.
Yeah, thank you. Now, was it all his fault? No, he did everything and more. He tried to put on that Superman cape and will that team to victory. In the final 2 minutes of the game, he got the ball back, and the team went backwards. Mm-hmm. That's the first time I've ever seen that happen to the Chiefs. Was the Lions' defense that good? I think it is very good.
I think it is actually very good, yeah.
I don't think it's that good, though.
To hold the Chiefs to 20 points, I mean, they're pretty damn good.
Do I think this game deserves an asterisk? Nope. Not at all.
No,
well, let's talk
a lot of people want to say there is one, but there isn't. I don't care what anyone says.
The only thing that I will say, the one that hurt them the most was Kelsey being out.
Yes. But with how smothering that Lions defense was, I think that the scores might have been slightly different, but I don't think the outcome would have actually changed, to be honest with you.
I'm not sure. It might have. And the only reason
it was still very close.
The only reason I say that is Kadarius Toney. Mm-hmm. Find that man a bottle to stick him.
Please, for God's sakes.
Because that interception that got returned by Branch for a 50-yard touchdown is a direct result of Toney not catching that ball. Yes, I think if you have someone like Kelsey in there, and he's probably looking to Kelsey more than Toney on that play, and I would imagine that Kelsey gets that ball thrown to him instead of
probably
Toney, and you don't have that interception. That takes 7 points off the board. But we can't play what ifs. The thing is,
we can't play what ifs, and the one thing with Kelsey that I always tell people to remember is that Kelsey is a short to mid-short range patch catcher. He was never a long-range deep threat tight end. He never was.
No.
He sometimes can, but what I'm saying is...
His job is he'll catch the ball short to mid-range and then break through people.
Try to break through people, exactly.
And get longer gains. Once he gets moving, he's harder to stop.
But against that Lions D, I just don't see him getting a lot of yards after the catch. I really don't. And so... that's why I don't really think Kelsey, would it have changed that offense and how it ran? Probably. Now, would that have given them a better chance to win? Probably. You can't say that, but I just...
Here's what I will say to anybody who says that there should be an asterisk on that game. I think it got evened out by the way the refs let Jawan Taylor play.
Oh my God. For so long, he didn't get called on anything.
Illegal.
They even called his ass out during...
He didn't even line up on the line.
No.
The broadcast called him out on it. They called out how early he was starting. He didn't get called for a false start until the fourth quarter.
Dude, I was watching that game and
you can delete it because of... And let's not even talk about...
Not only that, he was holding all the damn fucking time. Oh my God.
Yeah. Hutchinson would have murdered Mahomes if
there was
at
least 4 or 5 times I was like, he's holding there. It was so obvious,
it was so blatant. Oh my God. And the refs were just like, da. I don't see anything.
Yeah.
I'm blind.
Exactly. I get it. It's the Chiefs, but come on.
Yeah.
The fact that Lions still won despite that, I'm just saying.
Now, the other side of things, because I've been hearing this, and I disagree with it, is that Chris Jones's price tag just went up. No,
I don't think so.
I don't think the Chiefs are going to balk because the Chiefs' defense showed that it
still played well.
Butt off. It played extremely well even without Chris Jones. If anything, Chris Jones had to go. I may have shot myself in the foot.
He'll just have to take what he can get, I think, to be honest with you. And I told you this before. Remember, you were saying before that game how you thought that was going to be a big hurt, and it wasn't as big of a hurt.
And I was really surprised by that.
Yeah.
Kelsey did cost that team more than Jones did.
I agree with that, yeah.
Not in a bad way because he got hurt. You can't
it's just fact, yeah.
Exactly. It's a fact. It happened. It is what the hell it is. I can't sit here and be angry at Kelsey for getting hurt. That's not how this works.
No.
But the Lions did win that game. Amon-Ra St. Brown did prove that he is still one of the best receivers in football. I was very impressed with Jahmyr Gibbs. Other than the time that he tripped over his own feet.
Yeah. I was upset that they had moved off of Swift for him. I can kind of understand why they did. I still think, to be honest with you, I see them as being almost equals at this point, so it was a little weird to see. But I guess if you're going from if they're already equal, he's a rookie, he could improve. I get it. I
Yeah,
get it.
and I'm seeing the same thing.
I'm starting to understand.
Yeah, Herbert looked really good too, with rushing over people, running over people, just the power back. I was surprised to see him get the lion's share of the carries by the end of the game,
Right?
but
Yeah.
you know what? It's working.
It worked.
And
Yeah.
I will go out and say that I think the Detroit Lions might have the best offensive line in football.
I was thinking this kind of similar thing. Even not just even offensive line, but defensive line even is probably one of the top. Like
Yeah,
they
got
both lines
their
are absolutely amazing.
The Lions' secondary and linebackers need a little work, but
A
their
little bit,
defensive
yeah.
front is just
Like
legit.
it embodies exactly the Dan Campbell philosophy of we're gonna beat you in the trenches. We're gonna eat your kneecaps. It's gonna happen.
You know, I don't know that there has.
I love Dan Campbell. I'm not gonna lie. I love the guy.
I don't know that there has ever been a more run through a brick wall coach than Dan Campbell.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that team would literally assault the gates of hell itself for him.
Oh, absolutely. You can tell that the players 100% buy into everything he says.
Yeah,
You can just tell.
He motivates the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
And motivating
I don't know
people
how
will
he
do
does
the
it. 'Cause He's
dumbest
such
shit.
a weird. I don't know how he's such a weird character, but like
Now,
I
will
think that's
say
why it works.
that I heard the most interesting stat of the night on Thursday, which was the Detroit Lions games. All their home games are currently sold out this season.
Yeah.
You can't get
People are
tickets for
excited,
them.
man.
It's the
People are
first
excited.
time in forever that they have sold out their stadiums.
People are mega excited for the
They
Lions
sold
this
out
year
every
because
season ticket package.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are fucking ready to go.
people are thinking exactly what we talked about, which is this is the Lions' time to shine. Now, does this mean they're going to go to the Super Bowl and fucking win? No.
No,
But
they have a
this
good
is
shot
the
at winning
best.
the North.
Yeah, this is the
You
best
got,
they've looked
this
for
is
a
gonna
long
be
time.
this is I believe this division, in my opinion, as much as I'm a Vikings fan, is going to come down to the Packers, which hurts my soul, and the Lions.
You know,
which hurts my
originally
soul
I was
less.
saying, if you would have asked me that last week, remember, I thought it was going to be between the Lions and Vikings, and
I'm not so sure.
boy, we'll get to it, but I'm
We'll
not
get
so
to that
sure about
game.
that anymore.
We will get to that game.
Oh,
But
that hurts my
those are
soul
our
too.
thoughts about the Thursday night game. Let's move on down the road. We're gonna save the Buccaneers and the Vikings for the end because we have thoughts.
I have thoughts.
So let's talk about the Texans and the Ravens. Both of us picked the Ravens. Both of us were correct.
Barely, to be honest.
Actually, I think that
For a while, it was
for
pretty
a while,
close.
yes, but then in the end,
For a long while, actually.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't until the fourth quarter until they kind of pulled out a little bit ahead.
third quarter,
Third quarter, sorry.
because it was 6-7 going into halftime,
Yeah.
and then the Ravens scored 15 unanswered points.
Yeah.
And that
Who were
was
they
the
playing
end of that.
against? It was Ravens versus
Texans.
Texans, that's right, yeah.
Now
Early on, CJ Stroud looked pretty decent, and then
he still ended up
second
pretty
half
decent
happened.
too. 28 of 44 for 242 yards. Didn't throw an interception. Didn't throw a touchdown.
Exactly.
So fairly even keeled, if I'm going to be honest.
Overall, yeah.
Now, Lamar Jackson, 17 of 22 for 169 yards and 1 interception, 6 rushes for 38 yards. Zay Flowers, though, 9 receptions, 78 yards.
Dude,
Zay
he
looked
looked good, actually.
Zay looked really good. Now I understand why they grabbed Zay.
Yep.
So, my feelings on that is great. Unfortunately, the injury bug has already bitten the Ravens again. J.K.
Yep.
Dobbins blows his Achilles tendon, will be out the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Ouch.
He's not the only injury that person that we're going to have to bring up either, because there was a couple others, unfortunately.
And there's some we don't know the status of yet.
The status of, yeah.
Because the one I'm thinking of happened at literally the last 50 seconds of the game.
The one I'm thinking of, I don't know if it was the last. It was pretty late in the game, but yeah.
But the Ravens do get off to a 25-9 win over the Texans. I think we kind of expected something like that. Stroud didn't look great, but he didn't look terrible. out of all of the big three rookie quarterbacks, I think he looked the most even-keeled.
Who? Stroud?
Stroud. He looked the most even-keeled. He didn't show great flashes.
He wasn't great, but he wasn't bad either.
He didn't
make any
totally
mistakes.
bomb it either. Speaking of which, let's talk about the other top 10 rookie, or the other top 5 rookie that they have. Anderson Jr., 6 total tackles, 4 solos, and a sack. A tackle for a loss, and 2 QB hits.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, he looked really, really good. Tank Dell, 3 receptions for 34 yards. He also had a punt return for 14. So, I mean, there's some promise there, but like we said, the Texans, they're not ready yet.
They're not quite ready yet.
No, but give them a couple of years and they're going to be really, really dangerous. All right, we got to talk about a game that you have thoughts on.
Which one? Which one do you want to go to?
Bengals versus Browns.
Son of a bitch.
So Chris chose the Bengals. I chose the Browns. I get the point. Chris does not. Joe Burrow did play, and for $275 million, did not look like Joe Burrow.
Okay. So to just add insult to injury for people who don't know, Joe Burrow is my Dynasty League quarterback as well. And in case you want to know how many points he got me, it was 3. He earned me 3 points. Oh, God. Yeah, Joe Burrow was not, to be blunt about it, I don't know if it's because he didn't practice because we know as soon as his calf injury happened, he wasn't in practice. He didn't play preseason games. So I don't know how much it is a factor of the fact that he wasn't at training camp, he wasn't at preseason, or if it's because his calf injury was still bothering him. I have to hope that the Bengals, as an organization, looked at his calf and went, okay, you're good to play, but that doesn't necessarily mean he was ready to play. And that's really the way it come down to me. To me, it comes down to the fact that he may have been good to play, but he definitely wasn't ready to play.
100%.
He looked
I don't know how bad it was because T. Higgins was targeted 8 times and caught precisely none of them.
What was also I saw something ridiculous. Wasn't he Joe Burrow 20 for 43 or some shit? Less than 50% of his passes.
14 of 31.
Yeah, that's just horrific.
For a 2.6 yard average. So either the Browns defense is way better than we thought, or Joe was not ready.
I was watching that game somewhat, mostly highlights, but I was trying to pay attention. I saw Joe make so many throws that I went, what the fuck are you doing?
Where's that going?
Where's that going? Why are you throwing in a double man coverage? That guy was not a step ahead of his route. What are you throwing? It was very clear something was off. He was not ready to play, and it very much showed. I know that it was partially raining too, but we've seen him play in the snow and barely be affected. So I don't think that's what that was.
Exactly. So I'm a little worried about Burrow going forward. I think maybe they should sit him a couple of games and just let his calf completely heal if that's what the issue is. I don't know if he's having trouble pushing off of that leg because of it and making the proper throws. I don't know what the deal is, but he did not look like Joe Burrow. On the flip side, while Deshaun Watson didn't look like the Deshaun Watson of old, he's a little better than he was last year.
He's definitely improving. As far as will he ever get back to that spot, I don't think so, but he's definitely... Okay, so I'll put it this way. They're definitely overpaying him. There's no question.
Oh, yeah.
They'll have to restructure his contract, but he is still a starter QB. No question.
16 of 29, 154 yards, a touchdown, an interception, and 5 rushes for 45 yards and a touchdown. Nick Chubb added on 18 carries for 106 yards. Jerome Ford split carries with him, getting 15 for 36. Mm-hmm. Elijah Moore, their new acquisition wide receiver, 7 targets, 3 catches. Amari Cooper, 7 targets, 3 catches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think either of them caught a lot of balls, but I don't know if that was their fault or the fact that Watson may have been inaccurate. or a combination of both?
It was a combination of both because I saw several passes Deshaun Watson like had open receivers and then threw at their feet. And it was like it was a question of was there an accuracy issue? Did he not have enough power? What was it because he was running when he threw it? I don't know.
But Browns 24, Bengals 3.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
bad. It took a while for the Bengals to even get scored. They were the last team in the morning to get a score on the board. Like that's not what you expect from the Bengals from what they've shown you the last 2 years.
Yeah. All right. Titans at Saints. We both chose the Saints. We were both barely correct.
Barely correct. It was
Saints win 16-15. Of course,
yeah.
A chunk of that comes because Ryan Tannehill, 16 of 34, 198 yards, 3 interceptions.
Yeah, now you know why they're looking at moving on from him. Like he's clearly getting to that point where
he's clearly
he might start becoming a veteran QB who's a backup. Like
he looks like a backup veteran at this point. I honestly think that Willis would have done better.
I don't know if I would have said he would have done better, but I don't think he would have done worse.
Okay, I can agree with that. Sadly, we also see why they're trying to move on from Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple really good runs, but he had a couple...
15,
he's clearly not quite as strong as he used to be.
He's carried 15 times for 63 yards, only a 4.2 yard average. Yeah, King Henry is starting to slow down. But that's the problem with a big bruising back like that who runs over people. You only get them for about 5 or 6 years
before they start wearing
down. Before they break down. Guys that avoid hits, you get for a little bit longer. But it's been
as long as they don't get hit.
It's been the same with every major bruiser running back. You know, if you look back even in history, Eddie George, Terrell Davis, Stephen Davis. Any of those guys like that just ran over people, they had 4 to 5 really great seasons and then just off the edge. It's very rare to find one who could hit somebody and just keep going that had ridiculously long seasons. If you look at the guys who had the longest careers...
I mean, Lynch would be perfect for that too. Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah. If you look at the guys that had the longest careers, Emmitt Smith, Adrian Peterson had a ridiculously long career.
He had a pretty long career. Sanders, I think, pretty long too.
Barry Sanders, like, he could have gone probably another couple of years, but he didn't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
Same for Calvin Johnson. Like, he knew he could feel his body starting to give out, and Sanders was very small, and he was the entire plan for the Lions, and he was carrying 30 times a game. Even if you're not running over people, getting tackled that often is still going to hurt.
Just running, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, but if you look at the guys that had really long careers, they made a habit of not running over people. I think the only one that I can think of that had a really long career recently that ran over people was Frank Gore.
Yeah.
That dude had a ridiculously long career for how he ran. I was very impressed, but that's because he was kind of built like a bowling ball.
Yeah, and at the same time, they never relied on him to run that much. Like, he ran a lot, but not like 30 times.
No, it was only like 20 times, 15, 20 times a game, but he'd still get his about 100 yards, 70, 80 yards a game, but he was never required to make everything. Like, the teams that had him did not turn him into a feature back. That's the problem with having a feature back. So we're beginning to see that. Now, I may eat those words by the end of the season, but I don't think I'm going to.
We'll see. Based upon the combination of Henry, what I saw from him and Tennessee's O-line, because I'm going to be honest, their O-line was not good this game, and I don't expect it to improve that much, which means Tannehill is going to be throwing probably a lot of picks because he was under pressure a lot, and Derrick Henry, there are several times I saw him get the ball, and by the time he was moving, well, they were already in the backfield at him. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. You know, I mean, that I think is going to be the biggest problem. But yeah, so Tennessee does lose. The Saints do pull out that victory by a point. So good job to them for hanging on. You're going to need to do more to win that division, though, because there's a couple of teams that look like they want it.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about one of them right now.
Yeah.
Because we had the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons, and the Falcons really look like they want that division. This is the one I lost.
Bijan Robinson, bro. Bijan Robinson.
Actually, was not the guy that was the biggest guy.
No,
but
he
great.
looked pretty good. He looked way
really
better
good.
than I expected.
Tyson Algiers.
Algiers, like just the combination there, like
oh my god,
that's
so
like we talked about how like if they can find a way to make it work, that's gonna be deadly. They've already kind of found a way to make it work. This is crazy.
So I will point out, I sat Algiers this week, and I have him in fantasy because I didn't know how that split was going to work. Instead, I played the running back from the Texans, who had a really good season last year.
Pierce, yeah.
Damon Pierce. I should have started Algiers. Just like I started T. Higgins. I should have started Jordan Addison. So, a little disappointed in myself. But I can correct that mistake next week, and I'm still winning this week. So, anyway. Bryce Young, let's start with the Panthers. Bryce Young, out of the 3 quarterbacks, I think he looked the shakiest.
For a number 1 draft pick, yeah, he looked honestly not good.
Yeah,
like
he looked real shaky.
I hate to be honest with you, but he looked not good. He had some things that were definitely going good for him, but there was a lot of what kind of throw was that? What are you doing? Why are you taking so long to make a decision? You can't take that long in the NFL like you can in college. Like there was just a lot of that kind of thing in my mind going on when I was watching him play.
Yeah,
so.
100%. So stat-wise, 20 of 38, 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 3 rushes for 17 yards. Very pedestrian. Miles Sanders looked pretty good, 18 for 72. Chuba Hubbard, 9 for 60. I think they should be starting Hubbard over Sanders, but that's just me.
Splitting backs, I think, makes sense there. But
yeah, I think that the split needs to be a little more even, though.
Yeah.
That's just me. Hayden Hurst, 5 for 41, and a touchdown. Miles Sanders, which is why he was on the field more, 4 for 26.
Yeah, because he can also catch in the backfield.
Adam Thielen, 2 for 12.
God damn it.
Yep.
I started him. I really shouldn't have.
No, he's not with a rookie quarterback and how old he is now. I just don't think he's got it as much anymore. As much as it pained me to watch him move on from the Vikings, I knew it was time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I will also say that Sanders, again, fumbled and lost the football, which is one of the reasons they didn't re-sign him in Philly.
That's the only problem he has is that he fumbles the fucking ball.
All the time.
Every game, there's probably at least one you're going to get.
Yep, I would agree with that. Now,
he still earned me 13 points, though.
Yeah. So, now, let's flip that script. Atlanta. Desmond Ridder. Pop gun.
I was going to say, not great, but he doesn't have to be with how good his running backs are.
15 of 18.
Yeah.
Only 115 yards. Did get sacked 4 times for 24 yards.
Yes.
He got beat up a bit, but still threw a touchdown. Tyson Algiers, 15 carries, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson, 10 carries, 56 yards. Kyle Pitts, 2 catches, 44 yards. Bijan Robinson, 6 receptions, 27 yards, and a touchdown.
Yep.
I think the biggest loser to me out of this game, out of the new game plan for them, was Drake London.
Yeah, London didn't get really much.
1 target, no catches.
Yeah. So, what I mean by Ridder not looking ready is what I just mean as in, like, he's not asked to throw the ball deep down the field or throw even, like, hard passes. Most of the passes he threw were, short to medium passes that were kind of pretty easy and open and quick.
Yeah.
And he just let the running game... He I hate to say it, but he was basically the game manager. Like, he didn't...
But you know
now,
what?
That's not to say that he can't do more, but he performed exactly what he needed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have him be the game manager and that's how you're going to win, suck it up, drive on. As long as you're winning, who cares?
Exactly.
So that was interesting. Now we're going to come to another fun game. We both got the pick correct, but for a little while there, it was dicey in my eyes. And in fact, up until the last 50 seconds, they had a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville at Indianapolis. Jacksonville squeaks out the win, 31-21.
It was close for a while. Yeah.
That score does not indicate how good and how close that game was.
No, Jacksonville only kind of squeaked out in I think the last quarter there. They really basically made it hard for the Colts to come back from.
Yeah, it literally went in at halftime at 14-7. Then the Colts scored 2 touchdowns in the third to a field goal for
they were ahead for most of it.
They were ahead for a little bit in the second half, and then Jacksonville scored 14 unanswered in the fourth quarter. Although, so Richardson got hurt in the last 50 seconds of the game on a run play.
Oh, yeah.
I think if he doesn't get hurt there, they might have scored.
They might have scored, but I don't think that they still win. It would have been closer, but I don't think they win.
Would have been way closer, but you did onside kick, maybe you get the recovery. Richardson pulls off some magic. I will say this. Out of all the 3 quarterbacks that were drafted as high as they were, Richardson, to me, showed the biggest flashes of being a guy that can transform his team.
Yeah, I mean, we still have questions of the O-line, if they can continue to protect him or not. But yes, I think Richardson definitely has the intangibles like we thought he had. Now, if he can continue to grow and learn when he can pass and how he can pass and when he can run without taking a hit too hard, I think he'll be a force to be reckoned with. But
I think
we saw major growth here. So
yeah, but I think the other problem right now is they don't have a running back that actually runs the ball either.
Very well, yeah.
So
Richardson was the running back almost.
Very much so. Anthony Richardson, 24 of 37, 223 passing yards, a touchdown, and a pick. 10 carries, 40 yards, 1 touchdown. The only other guy that made double-digit carries was a guy named Deion Jackson, who rushed the ball 13 times for 14 yards.
Yeah. Fortunately.
1 of 7. Yeah. So that could tell you about how well that went. Pittman looked really good, catching 8 of 11 targets for 97 yards and a touchdown. On the other end, Trevor Lawrence, 24 of 32 for 241 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Etienne, 18 carries for 77 yards. Lawrence did get all out of the pocket 7 times for 21 yards.
Ridley looked good too.
Bigsby, 7 carries, 13 yards and a touchdown. Ridley looked amazing.
Looked really good.
8 receptions, 101 yards and a touchdown. He had 11 targets, caught 8 of them. Zay Jones, 7 targets, 5 catches, 55 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown he caught was just stupid. There's no.
I don't know how he got that.
I don't know how he got that either. Week 1,
I watched that several times and kept looking at it and be like, "How the fuck did he do that?"
We've already got a contestant for catch of the year. If you haven't watched it, you need to go see that catch. It was dumb.
It was really dumb.
Good God. Evan Ingram, 5 for 49. All 5 of his targets he caught. So you know what? Good, solid game for them.
Jacksonville's still doing what we expect him to, which is
you know who stepped up their game, though? You know who I thought looked a lot better this year? Trayvon Walker.
ETN looked good. Oh, Walker, yeah. Trayvon made a big jump forward, yeah.
Yeah, he has 6 total tackles, 3 solo tackles, a sack, and a TFL.
Yeah.
You know what? I can get behind that.
He's still not as good as Hutchinson, but he's definitely still good.
Yeah, I still don't think he's as good as Hutchinson, but he's showing all that promise that everybody thought he had.
Yep.
So you know what? If you continue to improve like that, maybe one day people won't think that you were drafted in the wrong spot.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Moving on down the list, let's talk about a blowout.
Whew. Okay.
You know what we're going to talk about.
Now, the very first one, yeah.
Both you and I chose the team that got blown out. Whoops.
Oh boy, that was a big whoops.
Yeah, well, and we had reasons. At the time, we didn't know if Bosa was going to play. We didn't know what Purdy was going to look like. Bosa was still holding out. We weren't sure how good Purdy was going to be. There were a lot of other questions. There was this, that, and the other.
Man,
And the
he looked fucking
Steelers were
stupid,
coming
though.
off looking hot to trot to start the season. Oh boy, did that not go well for anybody.
No, God, no.
San Francisco 30. Pittsburgh 7. At least they got on the fucking board.
They got on the board.
Brock Purdy, though, 19 of 29, 220 yards and a touchdown. CMC, 22 carries, 152 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Ayuk, 8 receptions, 129 yards, and the recipient of both of Purdy's touchdowns.
Yep.
On the other side, Kenny Pickett, 31 of 46 for 232 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions.
2 picks.
Najee Harris.
One of them was pretty bad, by the way.
Oh, yeah, one of them was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Najee Harris, 6 carries, 31 yards. Robinson the second, 5 receptions, 64 yards. Yeah, I think the Niners are going to challenge the Eagles for the top of the NFC, and they'll probably take it this year. The Eagles are
very
good,
possible, yeah.
but we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, the Niners came out to play, and the Niners played.
I think Purdy also showed that, like, I played good at the end of the year. I'm still here to fucking stay. I'm not giving up my goddamn position. We're still here.
Big Cock Brock.
Big Cock Brock's still here.
Yep, he's still got it swinging. He's like, yeah, I hurt my elbow. Guess what? It's fine now. Fuck you.
Exactly.
That's how it
I'm
sounds
still
to
winning
me.
football
Yeah,
games. Suck my dick.
I'm still gonna win.
Like,
Suck my big cock.
pretty much. My gosh.
So yeah, we don't have much else to say on that. We both have to eat that one. That was just terrible picking on our part.
Though I will say I am happy because Ayuk I did start, and boy did he earn me a lot of points.
Fantastic. I'm proud for you.
32, in fact. The only reason I'm not losing my matchup right now. Because Joe Burrow stuck so bad.
Actually, I'm not losing because I also started CMC, who got a...
Oh, I'm winning, but if it wasn't for Ayuk having that big game, I would be losing 100%.
At this point, I've about doubled up my opponent, and I still have my kicker, Gano. He plays tonight.
Okay.
And
I still have Waller to play, so hopefully he's
I
good to go.
actually replaced Waller in my lineup with Ingram this week because
That might have been a mistake because Waller's healthy now.
Waller's questionable.
I just saw the update. He's healthy. He's 100% to go.
Okay.
So
I pulled it because
that might be a mistake.
Well, I got 9-9 out of Ingram.
Okay, not bad then.
So I can't be mad at it. It's exactly what they predicted him to get. He got. So he got 9.9 points. I'm not mad at it.
Fair enough.
And then I've also got Garrett Wilson to play too on Monday night.
Ooh, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, and I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have.
Sorry.
I didn't know if Waller was going to play, and I didn't have anybody else that I could replace him with. I had Mayer was the only late tight end that played, and I didn't have anybody else that was going to play Sunday night. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw Ingram in there because I'm going to play it conservative for the first week, for the first game of the season.
That's fair.
All right, let's talk about a team that didn't look as shitty as we thought they were going to.
Okay.
And that's Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona at Washington. The Cardinals did lose, but only by 4
Barely.
points.
Yeah, it was close.
16.
They had a chance at the end to even.
They absolutely did. Dobbs looked a lot better than what I think anybody expected him to. 21 of 30 for 132 yards.
And mind you, he only joined the team like literally 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. Also, their defense looked a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah, and actually, either that or Washington's not as good as we thought they were.
Which also could be the case, but we'll have to see because Howell actually turned in an okay
pretty
performance.
Decently, yeah.
19 of 31, 202 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. I think where they got hurt is they didn't get the rushing yards that they normally would have.
No,
They got 19
Robinson
carries.
did okay, but not great.
Robinson only got 59 yards on 19 carries.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't see a lot, because I don't have him in here.
We didn't see a lot of Scary Terry
McLaurin,
at all.
Only 2 catches.
Yeah.
4 targets, 2 catches.
Scary Terry wasn't very scary Terry.
No, but I'll tell you what surprised me was that that end around they did with the Arizona did with Hollywood.
Yep.
1 carry, 29 yards.
It actually worked, yeah.
Yeah, that worked really well. A little bit of razzle-dazzle trick plays. He didn't catch anything, though. Oh, yeah, he did. Five receptions, or 5 targets, 3 receptions, 28 yards. But he also had the 29-yard rush. So, not horrible. James Conner, 14 carries, 62 yards. And, Rondale Moore, 3 catches, 33 yards. I mean, I think they might have won that game if Josh Dobbs doesn't fumble 3 times and lose 2 of them.
Unfortunately, that was his only concern. But at the same time, okay, so as much as we can say that's Dobbs' fault because he did fumble the ball, his O-line, did not do much to help him.
No, he did not.
His O-line did not help much, and so...
But we didn't expect them to. I think the only thing that I would have wanted on that line is PJJ.
Yeah, exactly. It's unfortunate because it's one of those situations where you're like, yeah, if he doesn't get pressured as hard as he was and fumble, they had a real opportunities. I think there's a couple of them that were real opportunities to really put scores and try to close out this game, but unfortunately things didn't swing their way this time. But I think we had to reevaluate them as a team that can definitely win 4 to 5 games this season at minimum.
Potentially, yes. Depending on how they play out, absolutely, I think they could. Now, moving along. Las Vegas at Denver.
Yeah, that was a weird game.
That was a weird game. Las Vegas wins 17-16. We both take the loss because we both thought the Broncos should beat the Raiders. They
should have still, actually, to be honest with you.
We were both incorrect. They should have, but they did not.
No.
Garoppolo, 20 of 26, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
Did exactly what you expected of him.
Jacobs, 19 carries, 48 yards.
Didn't do quite as well as you expected.
No, I think the most interesting stat, though, Jacoby Myers, 10 targets, 9 catches, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yes, he looked pretty good.
Devontae Adams, 9 targets, 6 catches, 66 yards.
He also looked pretty decent when he was actually catching.
Josh Jacobs, 3 targets, 2 catches, 23 yards. You know what?
What you expect.
That's a lot better than I thought they were going to look.
Yeah. They looked decent. Garoppolo did exactly what you expected, which is he's not going to wow you, but he's going to move the ball. And that's kind of what happens. Also, the fact that, what was it, right away in the first quarter, he takes a shot and had to get off the field to go to the blue tent to make sure he wasn't in concussion. Right away I saw that and went, oh, here we go again. Garoppolo getting fucking injured.
Yep. Now,
thankfully he wasn't. He came back out.
Garoppolo
But it
did
was
fumble, and he did get it. He did recover his own fumble.
He did.
Yeah. So we're not.
But I thought it was funny.
That was kind of funny, actually. That wasn't as funny as what happened in the Packers-Bears game, but we'll get to that.
Ugh.
You know the exact play I'm talking about, too.
Probably. There was a couple funny plays just this season. There was, I think both C.J. Stroud
the long pass downfield to Musgrove.
Oh, yeah. Because wasn't there the other 2 funny plays? Wasn't it both C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young had their balls tipped in the air and caught them?
Yes.
Caught their own balls that were tipped?
I believe
Except
so.
for, I think for C.J. Stroud, it was his first reception. His first NFL reception was to himself.
The best one I've seen still was Brad Johnson's touchdown to himself.
That one's still funny, yes.
That one's still funny to me. On the other side of things, Denver, Russell Wilson, 27 of 34 for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Looked better, still not quite the Russell Wilson you were hoping for.
Still not the Russell Wilson that he was, but he's still a starter if he can throw that
Put it this way, he's not the Russell Wilson that you're paying him for.
No. Now, I think the other problem was Javonte Williams did not get enough touches. Only 13 carries for 52 yards.
Yeah, he should have definitely gotten more touches.
He should have gotten more work than that. And none of your
Also,
receivers
ballsy as hell for Sean Payton to go for an onside kick at the start of the game. Like, what the hell?
But that's you. He did that in the Super Bowl.
I know, but it was really ballsy to do it week 1. Like,
But that's Sean Payton. What do you expect? That's
I guess
exactly what I would have expected.
it was just
from him.
funny because I was like, well, I guess it is only week 1, so why not? But still.
Exactly. They did lose by a point. I thought they should have pulled that out, but they did not.
They should have.
But
they have so many opportunities too.
There's some stuff there to build off of, and they really didn't spread the ball around quite a bit. So if you have a Broncos receiver, you're not going to get anything out of them. The only person fantasy-wise you're going to get anything out of is Russell.
I have Cortland Sutton, and he actually did okay. Like, he got the points that he was expected to get.
That's because he caught one of the
got
touchdowns.
the touchdown.
Yeah, he caught one of the 2 touchdowns from Russ.
So he's not gonna. They're not.
But he had what, 34 yards receiving, 36 yards receiving,
something like that. Yeah. Like
none of the
thing is, he's
the
not.
receivers went
No,
over 40
he's not going to give
yards.
you. He's not going to give you a lot of points. But if you are hoping for because if you have a league where touchdowns are going to give you the bulk of your points, like mine, in this case, it was one of those situations where he made exactly what I was expecting him to make. And as a wide receiver 3 in my team, it worked out exactly what I wanted. He did exactly what I needed him to do, which is earn your 13 points and call it good.
Now, moving along into some more afternoon games here. Miami at LA.
That was a fun game to watch, but I'm really sad at who won.
Miami pulls it out 36-34. Both of us got that one wrong, as both of us picked the Chargers to win.
Man, you want to talk
Brandon
about
Staley,
an offensive
you
fucking
fucked
slap.
it up again.
Offensive slap house, though.
Oh my god, yes. So let's talk about that. Tua.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Whatever. 28 of 45, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception.
I'm pretty sure 2 of those were to Tyreek Hill.
We'll get to Tyreek Hill's stat line here in a minute. Because that's retarded. Raheem Mostert, 10 carries, 37 yards and a touchdown. Tua also got out 5 carries, 5 yards. Tyreek Hill, 15 targets, 11 receptions, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 78 yards. And then the other guy that caught one was River Cracraft. 5 targets, 3 receptions, 40 yards, and a touchdown. This dude was just flinging it everywhere. He did lose one of his own fumbles, but he recovered the other one. They played their butts off. They played really hard. And Tua, with 466 yards, played amazingly well.
Now, I will say, I'm going to eat my words a little bit in the way that I have been talking about how I don't think Tua is an amazing quarterback that will really light up the storm. He won't light up anything. I'll eat my words slightly in the fact that I don't think he's a superstar still, but he's definitely a star quarterback. Like, there's no question that I think he's finally, based on last year and now how he started this year, he's showing that he is a star quarterback who will carry the shit out of your team if you give him a good O-line. And that's exactly what they did.
Absolutely. And I think Tyreek Hill having him there really helps.
Oh, that really helps, yeah.
Because that dude is just a monster. I don't think there's any question as to just how good a receiver he is.
Oh, yeah.
On the other side, Justin Herbert, 23 of 33, 228 yards and a touchdown.
Still good. Still very good.
Could have been better, but still good. Austin Eckler, 16 carries, 117 yards and a touchdown.
Pay that boy, man.
Pay that man. Look, if you look at the other guys that are trying to get paid, none of them came close to that.
No.
This dude had 7.3 yards per carry. He also scampered off a 55-yarder. Pay that man.
Pay that guy.
Josh Kelly, 16 carries, 91 yards and a touchdown. Herbert, 5 carries, 18 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Receiving-wise, 9 targets, 6 receptions for Keenan Allen, 76 yards. Eckler, 5 targets, 4 receptions for 47 yards. Mike Williams, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 45 yards. And then Parnham, 3 for 3, 21 yards and a touchdown. Quentin Johnson, sadly, 3 targets, 2 catches, 9 yards.
So I have him on my team, but I didn't have him in my starting roster only because I figured that being that he was still a rookie, he might take a while to start
It looks
really
like that's
getting
going to
his
be the
catches,
case.
and that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. Looks like that's going to be the case. They did not get any sacks this game, but they lost 36-34.
Still close, yeah.
It was close. I don't know how Staley managed to screw that up.
Well, it's kind of hard when you have Tyreek and fucking
Jalen,
Tua lighting up the fucking and Jalen Waddle all fucking lighting it up.
It's Staley's, but I don't know what else to.
That's not entirely his fault this time around.
It's not. All right, moving along down the list. Eagles at Patriots.
You know,
this was uglier than I thought it should have been.
It was, but I'll give credit where credit's due. Mac Jones isn't regressing more than I was expecting him to. I was expecting a more regression, but it looks like he's actually taking a step forward.
Yeah, I will say that it looks like they're finally getting an offensive coordinator who knows offense.
Right. Fair.
Seems to help. The Jalen Hurts regression was a little bit problematic, but we will say it's a Bill
first
Belichick
week
coach.
hard to.
It's also a Bill Belichick coach defense.
Yeah.
And he tends to like to fuck with people. And if you're not ready for him,
yeah.
All right.
He's gonna eat you alive if he can.
Now we both picked the Eagles to win. We were both correct.
Barely.
It was not as it's 25-20. And the New England had a shot right
at the very end. They did, yeah.
Right up to the end of the game where they did not get that 4th down conversion. They had a shot to win that and upset the Eagles. Hurts, 22 of 33, 170 yards, 1 touchdown. He also ran 9 times for 37 yards. Gainwell got out and he ran 14 times for 54 yards. Swift, 1 carry, 3 yards.
I don't know why they didn't use him at all. Was he injured or some shit?
I don't know. He also only got 1 reception. He was targeted twice for 1. I don't know what the deal was.
They barely used him, and we know from his time in the Lions, he's a good back. I don't know what that was about.
All right. A.J. Brown, 10 targets, 7 receptions, 79 yards. Devonta Smith, 10 targets, 7 receptions, 47 yards, and a touchdown. Overall, a very well-played game by them, mostly. I don't know what was going on in the backfield. I also don't know why we didn't see Penny. Is he hurt?
Not at all. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought he was good to go for the game, but maybe not.
Maybe not. Point is, overall, they did just enough to win. But Patriots, Mac Jones, 35 of 54, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Zeke, 7 carries, 29 yards. Stevenson, 12 carries, 25 yards. Joe rushes twice for 15 yards. Kendrick Bourne, 11 targets, 6 catches, 64 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Stevenson, 6 targets, 6 catches, 64 yards. That's pretty
he did a lot more catching than he did running, yeah.
Yeah, he got the lion's share of the carries still at 12.
But he didn't do much.
He didn't do much with them, but catching the ball, he did really well.
That's the only reason I got points out of him.
Hunter Henry, 6 targets, 5 receptions, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Juju, 7 targets, 4 catches, 33 yards. Zeke, surprisingly, 7 targets, 5 catches, 14 yards.
Yeah.
They actually did get the ball up to Zeke. So.
Still didn't look great, though.
Now, Christian Gonzalez. 7 tackles, 5 solo tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, a pass defended, and a QB hit. He did not pick anything off, but now we know why they took him. Yeah, he looked really good. Yeah,
he looked good.
He looked really good, which I thought was really nice. That was a good one to have. But the Eagles, you cannot play this crappy and expect to win the NFC, especially when the Niners look like world beaters.
With how good the Niners looked, they're breathing down your neck right now, bro.
The AFC East, this division is now officially 100% fucking loaded.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck out there. it's gonna be a fucking arms race.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Packers. But let's wait on this one. We'll do this one next to last. Let's do this one first. Rams at Seahawks.
This was surprising.
This was surprising. Nobody saw this one coming. We both got it wrong. We both picked the Seahawks. The Rams blow them out of the stadium, 30-13. It started really well in favor of the Seahawks, as at halftime they were up 13-7. And everybody was like, okay, this is just going to turn into the Seahawks blow the Rams out. And then the Rams scored the next 23 unanswered points and blanked the Seahawks in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Stafford.
Rams looked really good.
Stafford, 24 of 38, 334 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Williams, 15 carries, 52 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I had him on my taxi squad. I might have to take him off.
Yeah, you might have to start him now, huh?
Yeah.
Kyron Williams, Cam Akers, 22 carries, 29 yards, and a touchdown. Tutu Atwell. Love that name. I believe he's a rookie, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe so.
Out of Louisville?
Yeah. I believe he's a rookie. That sounds right. Either that or this is his second year. It's either rookie or second
2021. It's his third season.
Okay. Wow, that's surprising. He hasn't done much then. Poor guy.
No, not until now. Because he had 8 targets, 6 catches, 119 yards. However, Puka Nacua, 15 targets, 10 receptions, 119 yards.
That was good.
Yeah. I believe he is a rookie. If not, it's his second year.
Yep.
Yeah. Tyler Higbee, 3 catches, 3 receptions, 49 yards. Van Jefferson, 4 out of 5 for 24. Yeah. The two guys I would not have expected, both Atwell and Nacua, just killing it out there.
Yeah.
There was no Cooper Kupp. As we know, he went on IR. He's out at least 4 weeks.
Which, just the fact that is a little scary, because when they get him back, that's going to be interesting.
Oh, my God. The amount they could put up then. The defense held up a lot better than I thought it would. They played incredibly well. On the flip side, Geno Smith...
Back to what I was talking about with Geno Smith, because that...
came right back down to earth. 16 of 26 for 112 yards and a touchdown. Walker the third, 12 carries, 64 yards. Geno only got out of the pocket once for 6 yards. DK Metcalf, 5 targets, 3 catches, 47 yards, and a really nice touchdown. JSN, 3 of 5 for 13 yards. Could not find any room to work. Lockett, 2 of 4 for 10 yards. I don't know what happened out there, but it was not pretty.
Well, all I'm going to say is, remember, at the start, I said that I just don't think Geno's going to be able to repeat what he did last season, and I hate to feel like it might be too early to call it, but based on that game, it certainly didn't look good for you.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that one.
I hate to be that guy. I hope I'm wrong, because I don't like to wish ill on anyone, but at the same time...
No, and I agree with you. But, yeah, no, it was not...
It was not ideal for Geno.
It was not an ideal game for Geno. No. He did not have the game that anybody hoped he would. He was not as good as what they hoped. And we'll have to see if he can right the ship and if something happens there. Because if not, this is going to be ugly.
100%.
Packers, Bears. Packers 38, Bears 20. That gives me the win this week in our head-to-head, as you picked the Bears and I picked the Packers. That put me in the awkward spot of actually having to root for the Packers, and I felt dirty. I felt just dirty. Ugh. It was bad.
I also want to say, just from the guy that's, obviously a Vikings fan, and seen two generations of Hall of Fame quarterbacks for the Packers, with a potential third now on the way, They can't keep getting away with this!
I agree.
That's how I feel right now.
Jordan Love, 15 of 27, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns. Did take off a couple of times, 3 carries, 12 yards. I think, to me, the best play that he had was when he literally fumbled the snap, picked the ball up off the ground, turned around, launched the ball to a wide open Luke Musgrave, who just about didn't make the catch, and then tripped over his own 2 feet within the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
If he slows down just a bit, Musgrave does, he walks that ball in for a touchdown.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, the guy that really did all the damage, though, Aaron Jones. 9 carries, 41 yards and a touchdown. Also, 2 catches, 86 yards and a touchdown.
Speaking of potential injury.
When was it? It was the second touchdown catch.
It was on that last touchdown,
right before the
where
half,
he ran it in. Yep.
Right as the quarter ended or whatever. He pulled up lame, left hamstring, I believe, and did not re-injure the game.
So who knows?
That's not one they can afford to lose. Dobbs, though, had a really nice touchdown catch as well. He had a couple of them. He was four catches, 26 yards, 2 touchdowns. Musgrave, 3 for 50. Jaden Reed, 2 for 48. A.J. Dillon did rush 13 times for 19 yards. Patrick Taylor, 5 for 22. Overall, they played a very good game. They were all over the place. Also, let me see. He's on here. I know he's on here. There it is. Lucas Van Ness. He had only 2 tackles, 2 solo tackles, but one of them was a sack, and the other one was a TFL. Talk about playing your booty off.
Yep. 100%.
Well done, Lucas Van Ness. Now, on the other side, Justin Fields, 24 of 37, 216 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. He also did carry the ball 9 times for 59 yards. Khalil Herbert also carried 9 times, but only got 27 yards out of it. Now, the interesting thing is Roschon Johnson, who was Bijan's backup at Texas. But that kid got 5 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. Donta Foreman, 5 carries for 16 yards. I think we might see Roschon featured just a little bit more next week.
Very possible, yeah.
If you ask me. Because he also caught 6 catches for 35 out of 7 targets. Now, the most disappointing stat to me, DJ Moore, 2 targets, 2 catches, 25 yards.
Yeah, that was a little sad.
Darnell Mooney, 7 targets, 4 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown. I think they need to find a way to get DJ Moore more involved in that offense.
Agreed.
If they can do that, I think they'll be a lot better off. Justin Field also lost a fumble while he was running.
Yeah, he didn't look good.
He looked fine to start, and then he just unraveled. Which, sadly, is what we have come to expect from Justin Fields.
Yeah. It's so sad, because he's got so much freaking talent, and, I just don't know what it is he needs to get that last kind of click for him to really go off. There's definitely something missing. I just don't know what it is.
I agree. Now, let's talk about the game we probably have the most thoughts on. Tampa at Minnesota.
Yep.
All right. So this game started in what I would consider Minnesota's favor.
More or less, yeah.
They did not score first. Tampa did score first on a field goal, 3-0. But Minnesota would eventually come back, and they'd get 10 points in the second quarter, and then the Buccaneers right at the end of the second quarter would get a touchdown off of a penalty. It should have been a field goal. We had a neutral zone infraction, And that gave them the first down and a chance to score the touchdown, which they did. Went into the halftime deadlocked at 10. Come out in the third, the Buccaneers do get another touchdown. Minnesota will answer in the fourth, and then the Buccaneers will win it 20-17 with a field goal. So, wasn't a field goal at the end of the game. They got it much earlier in the game, but Minnesota just couldn't get going in the second half.
So the funny thing is, for me, the way I saw this game, and I'm sure you'll probably end up agreeing with me, is the only reason, well, not the only, but one of the main reasons the Vikings lost is that they just made more mistakes. Like, it wasn't
100%.
Even like they played worse. They didn't. They actually played, I think, better overall, but they made way more mistakes than Tampa did. Like,
we
had more.
lost. We lost.
They had some bad penalties. They had turned over the ball all the goddamn time. 2 times, I think, when we were on their side of the field. Like, it was our game to lose, and that's exactly what happened. They lost.
Exactly. We threw that bad interception. Mm-hmm. We had the 2 fumbles that we lost. And one of them was an exchange from center.
Yeah, it was a bad snap.
Bad snap. What the fuck? So looking at the stats, though, Baker, 21 of 34, 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. I will say that does not tell the whole story there, because he did not start well. He looked like the offense in the first half of the game. Their offense would best be described as anemic.
Yeah, they didn't really get going, I think, until the second half, really.
Yeah, at the second half, they changed up their strategy. They started, in my opinion, they started trying to run the ball on first and second down a little more. And they started throwing shorter passes and making the field shorter for a third down. That's essentially what they did. They started taking smaller chunks. Mike Evans, 10 targets, 6 receptions, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Goodwin, 6 targets, 5 catches, 51 yards. Rachaad White, 17 carries for 39 yards. Also had 2 catches for 10 yards. They played... Winfield Jr. recovered a fumble, and I'm not going to say the other guy's name. And then the pickoff was Christian.
Yeah, the guy's hard to
Christian
say.
Eason. They played very, very well against us. On the flip side, Cousins did throw for 344 yards, but
the funny thing is, I even pointed this out when I saw his stat at first. When I saw it at the end of the game, I went, "This is the epitome of what everyone talks about when they say Kirk Cousins is a stat patter." Because he will put up numbers like that, and you go, "How did they lose?" And then you watch the game and you go, "Well, duh!" Like, he will put up great numbers and still lose football games.
So
and that's just not good enough.
He connected on 33 passes of 44. But if you look at it, the 11 passes that he missed were trash, and one of them got picked.
Yeah.
And then the fumbles and everything else.
And the 2 fumbles.
Yeah. So you can't look at that and say, if you look at it stat-wise, you're like, how the fuck do they lose? They must be bad on defense. The answer is no, we weren't.
No. The defense actually held up pretty well.
Exactly. There were a lot of 3 and outs. There's a lot of things. And now you also have to remember that some of that is because, you have JJ who's 12 targets, 9 catches for 150 fucking yards.
Yeah.
You have one of the most dynamic weapons in football. When you have that, and Jordan Addison going for 61 and a touchdown, and Hawkinson grabbing 8 catches for 35 yards, that little pressure relief valve, that's where a lot of that chunk comes from. Now, I may be eating my words, we'll have to see after Monday night, on Madison getting more yards this year than Cook, as Madison carried the ball 11 times for 34 yards. That was rough.
That was a poor start to Madison's running back starter career.
What I will say is, on the flip side...
We've seen better from him, though, so, we'll see.
Ivan Pace Jr., 8 tackles...
Oh, he looked great.
8 tackles, 6 solo tackles, and a QB hit. Didn't get to the QB in terms of a sack, but he looked good. Daniel Hunter on the other hand, 7 tackles, 4 solo, and a sack, as well as 2 TFLs, and a pass defended, and a hit.
There's a reason why he got his payday.
There's a reason why he got his payday. I'm glad he got it. He looked really good. We did not turn over the ball enough. We did not grab interceptions, and we had stupid, costly penalties when we couldn't afford to have them. And that is really
the epitome of we shot ourselves in the foot.
And that is really what killed the Vikings this week against Tampa. And next week we have to go face the Eagles. And I'm certain the Eagles will have a nice bounce-back game against us.
Primetime Kirk, guys. Primetime Kirk. Yep. Thursday night primetime Kirk, even. Like, oh, God.
So I will also point out that as of right now, it is almost the end of the first quarter in the Dallas and Giants game. The Cowboys currently lead that game 16-0.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts too.
Yeah. Wow. Jones, 1 for 5, no yards, and an interception.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley, though, 6 carries, 27 yards.
I'm hoping that gets turned around because I need Darren Waller to get some points on the board.
I'm sure it will eventually. But
it's not starting out well though.
No, it's not. They don't even have the Cowboys do not have an offensive touchdown.
No, I know, that's the funny part.
They have an interception for a touchdown, and they have a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, 1 field goal, 2 extra points. They got another touchdown somehow.
They had to have gotten one on the offense or as a special teams, like a punt or a kickoff return.
It's not showing here.
Okay.
Might have been a kickoff return. Nope, they have no kick returns yet.
Let me pull it up on my end and see. Unless they just got a touchdown and they're confirming it, that's possible. Because the last I checked, it was like still 9-0. So if you're saying it's 16 now, they must have just got
blocked kick.
Oh, really?
They blocked a kick and returned it for 58 yards.
Oh my God. They're winning off of their special teams and defense.
Yes.
It's hilarious. What a shock. Okay.
What a shock. Anyway. So
obviously we can't talk about the Monday night game because
it hasn't happened yet. It's Sunday night. We
both still pick the Jets on that, right?
We did both pick the Jets over the Bills on that. We'll see how that We'll see how that works out. We will talk about that next week and lump it into next week's scores. Yep. But it won't affect this week's outcome. This week, I did beat Chris by 1 game. I don't have the totals here, but I do know that we split on 3 games, and I got 2 of them, and he got 1. Thus, I have beaten Chris this week
by one
game. We'll see how that goes over the season. Chris might end up beating me this year. I don't seem to be very good at picking teams this year.
I didn't have very good luck either, so
neither of us did. All right, let's move on. Let's let's talk about Dante's Inferno real quick.
You want to go to Inferno?
Yep. Okay. We'll do Inferno, showers, and game balls, and then we'll wrap it up. How does that sound?
Oh, well, we have to do our predictions for next week too.
Oh yeah, we got to do our predictions. Do you want to do those now, or do you want to do?
It's up to you. We can do those now, or we can do them last.
How do you want to do it?
How
do you think it flows best?
I think we do it at the end because if we're gonna do Inferno and all that, it kind of ties into this week, and then we'll do next week's stuff.
So let's
last.
do Inferno, showers, game balls, and then our predictions for next week. All right. You want me to start with Inferno?
Yeah, you go ahead and start.
Kadarius Toney, welcome to the 6th circle of hell.
Oh, wow, you're gonna throw right at the fucking start. Just throw right down.
Oh, jeez. Fuck yeah! Look, you literally had drops that you should not have had. You had one that directly resulted in a 50-yard touchdown interception. You had one where nobody was within 7 or 8 yards of you, and you just flat missed it. It went right through your arms. Like, I don't know that you could have thrown a better ball, and it went right through your arms. Tony, stick 'em. You got to find it. Because you ain't got any right now. Right now, they would trade you and a pack of Butterfingers to someone.
Almost. Almost. Oh, goodness. All right. Now, for those who forget, the first circle is the coldest, meaning that that's where you're least likely to be concerned. 10 is hottest. That means you're like, what the fuck? You should be not even on this team anymore. Um, so I'm going to go with my coldest first, and we're going to go Bryce Young. I hate to tell you, you're in the first circle. You're a first-round draft pick. You did not play up to that at all. Not even close. I'm sorry, but you got to be a little hot for that. Like, you have to... Considering the fact of all the rookie QBs, you played the worst as the first-round pick. That is not okay.
The first overall
So get it
pick,
together. Yeah. Well, you're the first and the first overall pick. Exactly.
All right. My next one is also a Chiefs player.
Just dunking on the Chiefs this week.
Oh, I am dunking on him this week. You know who it is. Juwan Taylor. I believe that's his name. Taylor, the tackle that they pulled away from the Panthers. My dude, you welcome to the sixth circle. That was horrendous. You're a cheating piece of shit.
Oh, that was so bad.
It was so bad, and you eventually got called for it at the worst time possible.
I think that's why the refs did it, though. They saw him do it so often, eventually they just went, you know what? Fuck you. This is what you get now.
Yeah. So welcome to the sixth circle. Don't do that again. Piss off.
That was horrific, my guy. Like, how many times are you going to do it? Like, after a while of seeing it, how many times we saw it, like, there's no way you're doing it accidentally after a while.
No, you deliberately know that you're doing that.
You're just being an asshole.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're not quite. I'm not quite going down that road, but Geno Smith, you are in the second circle. My guy, like I already predicted you were going to have a downfall, but this is a little early for it. So let's ramp it up a little bit here, my guy. Let's ramp it up.
All right, and now I'll move to the coldest person that I have, the person who just barely made it onto my list. I got to do it. It pains me to do it. Kirk Cousins, welcome to the first circle.
Yeah, I thought about it. it too.
I mean, my guy, those two fumbles
were bad.
And just your genuine, like, again, genuine stat padding. Do I think you're a bad quarterback? Again, no, but they rushed you, they pushed you around, they came at you hardcore in a blitz, and they made you uncomfortable, which is always your fucking kryptonite. You did, my dude, you're in the first circle, but you have the chance to advance all the way to the 10th if you keep this kind of shit up. However, if you do keep this kind of shit up and we wind up losing out the season,
maybe we'll get a good quarterback.
Maybe we'll get a quarterback that can replace you. In which case, you know what? All is forgiven. Bye.
All right, we're going straight to the fifth circle on mine. Cardinals defense, only because I don't know the name of the player. Whichever one of you sucker punched fucking Howell at the end of that one play. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. That was Bush League.
That was very Bush League. All right. Hit the showers. I'm going to start with the obvious one for me.
You want to go? Go.
Kadarius Toney. Fucking hit the showers, dude.
Man, you're just shitting on Tony.
He deserves it. He deserves it.
Oh, shit. It's still funny, though. Well, if we're going to go down that road, Bryce Young, go hit the showers, my guy.
Let's keep going down that road. I can understand, but let's keep going down that road. Kirk Cousins, go hit the showers.
Justin Fields, hit the fucking showers, my guy.
All right, I got one last one for you, and it hurts me to put this one on here because I've been such a fan. But it's funny because I was looking at this list, and the last time we did Hit the Showers, this person was on my list. And on my first Hit the Showers of this year, he's on my list.
Oh, no.
Joe Burrow, hit the showers.
Oh, no. I didn't want to do it, but he was going to be my last one if you didn't, just because, like, he deserves it.
He deserves it for that shit performance.
All right, fine. I'm doing the last one just because I know, in my heart of hearts, I saw some horrendous calls, and the refs need to hit the fucking showers. I saw some horrible calls.
I don't blame you for that at all.
Also, specifically the refs from that fucking Chiefs-Lions game. What the fuck, guys? What the fuck?
They actually were talking about that. The head ref never calls illegal formation.
What the fuck? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
But it must be that, like, I'm willing to bet the Chiefs scouted the refs and knew that was a penalty.
They had to have known. Like, fucking hell.
All right. Game balls?
Game balls.
Game balls. You want to start?
Sure, why not? My first game ball goes to a very obvious wide receiver in Tyreek Hill. That boy played out of his damn mind.
215 yards, yes. I will say, my first game ball goes to his quarterback, Tua.
I thought about that.
28 of 45, 466, and 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Game ball,
now,
sir.
I normally would do the same thing. I'd give him a game ball, but I don't like to give game balls to the same team twice. So I don't like to do that if I can avoid it.
I'm in the same boat.
So instead, I'm going to give my game ball to another quarterback, but one that played far better than we both expected, and that is Matthew Stafford. Game ball.
Well done. 343 yards there. I'm going to give my game ball to a quarterback that played much better than we expected. Anthony Richardson, 24 of 37, 223 yards, 1 touchdown, 10 rushes, 40 yards, 1 touchdown. Game ball.
I thought about that one as well. But I'm going to give my last one to... Debate to another wide receiver who lit the shit out of the freaking Steelers, Brandon Ayuk.
Well done.
Enjoy your game ball.
I am also going to that game for my last game ball, but it's going to go to the running back, Christian McCaffrey. 22 carries, 152 yards, and a touchdown. Game ball.
Fair enough.
I thought about doing Purdy, but I was like, I've already got 2 quarterbacks.
Yep. I thought I did the same thing. I was trying to think if I wanted to give one to a running back or if there was anyone on the defense that I really wanted to give one to, but I didn't. My other game ball was probably going to go to Ridley if I didn't have the option.
Ridley also played pretty well. After being off for as long as he was.
Yeah.
I am fairly
It basically felt like he didn't even miss a step almost.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next week's predictions. Start with the one that's going to hurt us the most. Because it's the Thursday night game. Vikings at Eagles.
I can't do it. I'm picking the Vikings. I can't do it. I can't pick the Eagles this. I just can't.
I will.
Now
I'll take the Eagles.
I will say it is a long shot because I think the Eagles are definitely favored and will more than likely win it. But I do honestly believe there is a chance if the Vikings clean up their errors and their fumbling issues, specifically with Kirk Cousins, then I think they actually have a real chance because that offense is really good and their defense is much improved. The Eagles do look vulnerable based on this last week.
They do, but again, that was a Belichick defense, and there's a lot of other things and yada yada. But I can't do it.
But remember, Brian Flores is part of that tree, if I remember right. So
I think so, but the Eagles just. Something about them when they play the Vikings, it never works out well for the Vikings.
You're right, it doesn't. But
especially when they have to travel to play the Eagles on their turf. I know.
I'm holding out hope. Give me that.
If it were at TCF, I might agree with you.
Oh God. You mean US Bank Stadium? Yeah.
I thought it was TCF Bank Stadium.
TCF is the college.
Oh, okay.
US Bank Stadium.
US Bank Stadium is the Vikings. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Raiders at Bills.
Based on how the Raiders played, we haven't seen the Bills yet, so I'm going to assume the Bills have a better chance there. I'm going to go Bills.
I agree with you. Haven't seen the Bills play yet, but I still think the Raiders played okay, but they could have played better. And I think the Bills just have a much more, like, especially compared to Denver.
Or to New Orleans. Or Denver.
It was Denver.
Yeah, they played Denver.
They played Denver. Right. Especially considering where they played Denver, I almost feel like, the Bills have more punch than Denver does.
Yeah.
So, I think we both agree there. Ravens at Bengals.
It's so tough because it's also like, are we getting Joe Burrow back?
Are we getting Joe Chill or are we getting
Joe? What the fuck was that?
Joe, what in the hell are you doing?
Joe Schmo.
Joe
just
Chill
about almost. Yeah, I don't want to bet against Burrow because I know he's a good quarterback. In fact, he's a great quarterback. I just don't know if that injury is a problem enough where he's even going to start. I imagine he's still going to start. And the Ravens looked pretty decent, but not great either. Ugh. I think I'm gonna go Bengals though. I'm still gonna go Bengals.
I will go Ravens.
All right.
I just until Joe proves to me that he's not as hurt as he looks,
Yeah, I
can't do it.
I get it.
All right. Next, after that, this will be a fun one, and I think I know which way we're both gonna go. Chiefs. Come on. Chiefs at Jaguars.
Oh, that's going to be such a fun game. But remember, I said if there was a team that I thought was going to be strong enough to knock the Chiefs off, it was going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm still sticking with that.
I'm sticking with that too.
Yeah.
Jacksonville won today. The Chiefs, I don't know if Kelsey will be healthy yet. With Kadarius Toney's problems that they've been having, and with no other receivers really that they've got, and unless they find a way to get the ball more to MVS, I don't see a way the Chiefs are going to win this time, considering that Jacksonville took them to the wall last time in the playoffs when the Chiefs were better and had more weapons. Man. And now they've got, now the Jags have got another wide receiver. Woof. I think they've got the advantage. I'm pulling for Jacksonville in that one. It's going to be a hell of a game, though.
It'll be a good game, absolutely.
But I will also go with Jacksonville. Chargers at Titans.
Oh, Chargers, come on. I just can't, there's no way it's not Chargers, right? There's no way.
I would agree with that. I don't think they can lose that one.
If they do, man, Staley's got to go.
Yeah, especially considering that, Tannehill just threw 3 interceptions this week. I think the Chargers beat the Titans. I think Tannehill looks more like crap, and I think the calls from Malik Willis begin.
Probably, actually.
Here's the fun one. I think I know what way I want to go, but at the same time, I'm not sure I can go with it. Packers at Falcons. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
I'm pulling the trigger. I'm going Falcons on this one. I'm doing it. Are you going to pick Packers 2 weeks in a row?
I am.
You going to really do it?
Yeah,
oh, my gosh. You're such a traitor.
I don't want to do it, mind you. I really don't. But
traitor.
I just can't bring myself to think that there's a way that they could slow down Jordan Love with how good he looked this week.
I don't know, man. The Falcons look pretty good this year. I don't know.
The Falcons did look really good. I think this is going to be a shootout game. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be a lot better than people think it is.
Oh, yeah.
I just think if Green Bay doesn't win, I will be happy to lose this next week to you. But I just have a feeling. Okay, I already know this one where we're going to pick, but Seahawks at Lions.
Oh, Lions all day long, man.
Lions all day long. The reason why, in my opinion, first off, they have bulletin board material. Oh, you only beat the Chiefs because they didn't have this. Dan Campbell's putting that up in a bulletin board.
Oh, 100%.
And then the Seahawks look like crap. On top of which, the Lions...
their defense is going to smother the shit out of Chino.
Oh, my God. Because the Seahawks knocked them out of the playoffs last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be mad. They're going to be playing angry.
Oh, absolutely.
I know which way I want to go on this one. Oh, it hurts me. We're going to have to monitor some things. Colts at Texans.
Ooh. This is legitimately actually kind of a tough choice.
Yeah.
I think I know which way you're gonna go, so I'm going to go different, and I'm gonna actually go the Texans here.
I am going to go the Colts.
Yep. I want. If I'm being 100% honest, I feel like the Colts will probably win, but I think there is a
I agree
weird.
with you. I agree.
I
And
think
it's
the
going to really
defense of
depend on if
Texans might potentially, yeah.
it's also going to depend on is Richardson really hurt or was that just a stinger at
That's
the end of
true.
the game? What was that?
That's true.
And like I think there's a shot the Texans win.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that the Colts have a good shot too because they were in that game right up until the end.
Pretty much, yeah.
Bears at Buccaneers.
Oh God. Based on how the Bears played, I was gonna choose Bucks, but at the same time, like they didn't look fantastic, and even though they won, they didn't look great doing it. But the Bears just look so bad. I problem is you just don't know which Justin Fields is gonna show up.
Exactly.
I I have to go Bucks though, just because I don't have any faith in anything the Bears is doing right now.
I agree with you. Giants at Cardinals.
You know, that game might actually be closer than people think, just because the Giants are playing dirt right now. Speaking of, I want to check the scoreline real quick before I make this call. How bad are they getting smashed right now? Are they finally putting a score on the board yet? 25-0. Fuck.
Oh, God.
That makes it even harder because normally if I hadn't seen that I would have been like, yeah, Giants should win that game. But the Cardinals played better than I was expecting. I don't know, man. Am I gonna do it? Am I gonna pick the Cards here? Fuck. This is weird. I guess I'm picking the Cards.
So am I.
I don't like it.
I
don't like it,
either.
though. I don't like it whatsoever.
I don't either. But you know what? Yeah. Here's one that's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, just because. 49ers at Rams.
I mean, the Rams did play better, but that 49ers defense is just so stuffing that even though I think Stafford will still look like Stafford, remember, like, who the fuck do you throw into again? Like,
yeah,
I hate to be that guy.
And I hate to say it. I think Purdy is. I think their team is just better than the.
I think the team overall is just better.
The Seahawks.
Yeah. It's the 49ers.
Yeah, I agree. Then we get to Jets at Cowboys.
Unfortunately, we haven't seen the Jets play. We know the Cowboys are smashing the Giants, but the Giants
don't look as good as they did last year.
No, they don't. So it makes it hard to be like, is it the Cowboys playing really well? Or is it the Giants playing like dog shit? I think just based on what we know of the Jets, even though we haven't seen them play yet, I'm still going to choose the Jets, though.
I will, too. I agree with you. Commanders at Broncos.
This one's actually kind of tough too because neither team played particularly well this week. Both showed improvement overall, but still not great. Like the Commanders barely eked out their win, and the Broncos barely lost. So they're very much on an equal footing. But it's really hard to bet against Sean Payton when he's got the tools that he has. So I think I'm going to lean Broncos here. I'm going to go Broncos.
Chris with the Broncos. I will take the Commanders because I'll pick the team that barely eked out a win over the team that barely eked out a loss.
Fair enough.
Dolphins at Patriots.
Oh, that's another hard one, actually. Just because, you're going up against Bill Belichick's defense, which showed that they are still good, even with not as good a talent as you would expect. And Mac Jones made a good push forward, so
Mm-hmm.
there is an argument that the Patriots will look good. But I still think it's going to be hard to beat that offense of the Dolphins. So unless they somehow win in a shootout, which I don't expect, I think Dolphins will win this.
I agree. I will also take the Dolphins with you on that one. Monday night games. There are two of them.
Oh, okay.
Saints at Panthers.
I didn't love how the Saints played, but I really didn't like how I watched the Panthers, so I'm going to go Saints.
I agree with you. Uh, I was not a fan of that. Now, the last one. Browns at Steelers. This is a harder pick than people would think. And here's my reasoning on this. The Browns did beat the Bengals, but the Bengals didn't look very good.
No.
And I don't know how
the
much
Steelers lost, but the 49ers just
played-
looked really good.
Well, they played a very, very hardcore defense.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the
that's what I mean,
difference
yeah.
is the Bengals' offense killed them. I don't think the
Yes.
Browns' defense is that stout, but I think that the Niners' defense is that stout, and the
Yes.
Steelers just plastered themselves into it.
100% agree with that.
I think this game will give us a much, much better feel for both of these teams.
I agree with that. 100% agree with that. Man, I think I'm gonna try it another week in a row, and if I get burned again, I'll probably stop. But I'm gonna jump on the Steelers again.
I will stick with the Browns.
Really? Okay.
Well, they won this last week, so
Fair enough.
I'm gonna, you know what, roll the dice again, and if it burns me, then at least I know that, I probably should have gone the other way around.
Don't worry, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm going, well, I bet Steelers last time, and if they burn me again, then it's like, shame on you.
Yep.
Shame on me, though, if I do it twice in a row.
Yeah, they are. This game is getting out of hand.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Oh, the Giants game, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's 26-0.
Yeah, it's not. The Giants are not having a good time.
They are not. I mean, Jones has already thrown 2 picks.
Yeah.
Waller's got 2
aren't-
catches for 14 yards though.
Woo. My point. Yeah. I don't know what happened to all of a sudden the Giants, but it's clear that at least week 1, things are not clicking for some reason.
Things are not clicking right now. Then again, things are not clicking offensively, really, for the Cowboys either. They don't look great offensively. They're winning off the strength of their defense. Bad decisions by
Jones,
Danny
yeah.
Dimes and special teams.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
It's one of those games.
So that's how we've got it set up for next week. We will see how this all goes and whether or not we're full of shit or not.
Probably that one, to be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest. I think we're both pretty full of shit.
One. Yeah.
Anyway, it's getting a little late here. We are going to let everybody go. We hope that all of you enjoy the rest of your week. We hope that you had a great last week. We will see you all here next week when we talk about the Monday night game. And we will probably record again, probably a Sunday night again like this after the games. Yeah, it just seems to be the best time for both of us. Before the Sunday night game or during the Sunday night game, and with the Monday night games coming up. I think the only time we would break that is if the Vikings were playing the Sunday night game.
Yeah, that'd probably be the only time.
We'd have to record on like a Monday or something. We'd have to figure out either Saturday or Monday, but we'll figure that out when and if it happens.
Pretty much.
Because they might get flexed out depending on how shitty they start and play.
True. That's very true, actually. We'll see on Thursday.
We'll find out. No. In the meantime, we hope that
Cross
all of
my
you have a great
fingers.
week. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. We could really use all of that here. We're trying to build a little community. We're starting to get somewhere, just clawing forward little by little. But let us have a little bit of like, let us have a little bit of love here. We will see you all here next week when we talk about week 2. Until then, we hope that y'all have a great time. Have a great week. We'll see you then. Peace out.